For my morning walk and thought I will take you along as I note what I have to do in the garden. First, this beautiful rose that I got as a gift from my father-in-law is doing really beautiful. All the blooms are coming along beautifully, and it did get a bit of sun, and that's why you see some yellowing spots on the leaves, but most of it is growing back beautifully since I took it out of the sun. I used to have it right on a spot over there, right in front of the table, but I think it'll be much happier over here because all of a sudden in the spring, May 2022, we are seeing just way too much sun in the Netherlands and we're not getting enough rain, so that's a bit of a concern. And then I notice over here I do have some closed flowers, but this is normal because they open up during the day. And for those that have withered, I will try to cut the buds off before they start setting seed, because I can already see new buds coming along. This is a new bud right over here. So some of them that have withered, like this one, I will try to cut off, just deadheading. With the tulips, I see that most of the nutrients have already gone down to the bulbs, and that's why they're looking so dry. I will cut off the stems and throw the foliage of the stems in the bed in order to just mulch the bed a bit more and leave the one that is still green. So you don't have to take out tulips from the earth. Actually, you can leave them, and if you decide to take them out, that's also your decision to make. Same goes for this bed, but on this bed I see that I've also lost my allium. I also have an allium over here, but it's clearly not gonna shoot a flower. The only one that did eventually shoot a flower is the one in the bed with the lavender and the thyme that I have recently planted. It's looking absolutely beautiful, but I think it could be better, and perhaps I should put them together all in one bed. I recently planted some French thyme. This is the French thyme that you see over here. And the lavender from the prior year is not doing as well as I had hoped. It really got beaten down during the winter. I'm seeing a lot of dead foliage that is not coming back, so I will have to trim it and maybe make some cuttings from this before it starts flowering. I see that it's already started flowering over here on this side. That's because the sun comes out on this side a bit more. And now I'm walking towards the bed that gets the least sun, but I was hoping to get some trellising going on here. I've planted crown of thorns. This is crown of thorns. I don't know if you can see the little plants in here. I think I have been a bit impatient with my plants, and I have started seedlings as well in here which have not come up. I haven't started anything on this trellis to be precise, but I have started seedlings over here and also put some seeds in, and I'm not seeing some of the seeds that I have put in. This is a watermelon. I'm only seeing one plant of the watermelon, so I will have to start more seedlings, which means that I'm a bit behind in terms of the growing season. This is a melon, and my tomato plant is not doing as well as I had hoped. For me, these are all signs that I really need a greenhouse in order to start my seedlings. So that is also going on to my journal to make sure that I do prioritize it. And I do think that this bed is actually underutilized, because I was hoping to get a lot of foliage and vertical planting on here, but it's not working out as I had hoped. But that's what the garden is all about, huh? You assess how things react, and you work with nature, not against it. So I will have to rethink where to have my trellising plants. I do have a lot of sun, however, honestly, it's taken up by all of this space. All the terraces that I have on the yard is taking up a lot of sunny spots, and then it's leaving these shady spots for me to work with. My snail is also looking good. I got another plant from my father-in-law. This is a blackberry, and it has to be watered every day. I did not water it yesterday, and I already see the signs of distress. The leaves are wilting a bit. But also, I think I should take it out of this pot and put it into a better position in one of the garden beds. I was toying around with an idea yesterday of having some sort of sitting area over here for relaxing under the tree. There's a huge tree that casts a shade when it's really sunny. So it would be awesome to have maybe a reading nook or something similar. It doesn't have to be over on this side. It could also be over there, because over here I actually plan to have a dining table enough to fit maybe 6 people. And yeah, if they are guests, obviously I would like to just add on some of the chairs in order to make it a bit more spacious to fit enough guests. And as I'm moving to this side, the leaves are coming on beautifully. They still have a tint of red as they grow out, but then I believe that the red kind of disappears once it has a big enough leaf. I'm looking at this pattern, for example. Some of the leaves are still red, but once it's grown, it looks more green than red. And it's a lime kind of green, something like that one. That one used to be all yellow. And I am surprised at how fast time goes, because now I'm seeing more green than yellow. Same goes for this one over here. It's more lime than yellow right now, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving it. I'm gonna turn back to this corner. Sorry for spinning you all around. Yeah, I have put some bulbs into the earth now over here, but I am not seeing much of a progress. The only things that are doing quite well, and they have had enough time to actually pop up, is the Astleby. This is Astleby right over here, and it's looking much better than everything else that I've put in here. The Chinese aster is also coming along nicely. It's very, very small, but hopefully you can see it down there. And another Chinese aster right over there. I think they do take time to actually pop up. I had planted some amaranth, and now I don't even see it. The seedlings were right over here, like that seedling over there. And yeah, a lot of it is trial and error. I am not really... Let me try to zoom in so that you can see the seedling, because hope you can see it. Right over there. A lot of it is trial and error. It's my first year in the garden. So, and that's why for me it's important to actually be documenting this and really looking at how the garden does in order to improve next year. I don't expect a lot of I don't expect a lot of food from the garden this year. However, I want to learn as much as possible so that next year I can improve and make it better for myself. What we are looking at right over here is a hydrangea. It has started setting flowers. This is the first time I'm seeing these flowers actually, these flower buds. It has started setting flowers and it has grown even bigger than last year. There's two of them right next to each other. There used to be a whole row of hydrangeas right over here. I took out some of them in order to make space for the berries that I want to plant. Like the blueberries that you see over here. This one seems to be suffering. You can't even see it with all the foliage around it. This blueberry seems to not be doing well. I will have to pay it a bit more extra attention. I have spinach that I directly sown, and it is awesome. The spinach that was transplanted seems to be suffering from animals eating it the whole time, because I see some holes in it. So I don't think it is doing well at all. I mean, look at this one. The whole leaf has been eaten, and I don't see anything underneath. So I can't really pinpoint who are the culprits. I just noticed something. A whole plant has been taken out by an animal, and all you see is the stalk. Do you see the black clump of soil over there with a little pink stalk sticking out? It must be one of my transplants. Yeah, I do have animals that come in here. This morning I spotted a frog and it jumped away quickly. But yeah, okay, the strawberries are coming along beautifully, and I do have some buds forming. I have decided to protect this strawberry because I immediately saw a few buds in here, and I really want to have at least some strawberries this year. But as previously pointed out, my foliage is suffering from some sort of worm that is eating the foliage, and that one as well, and the strawberry as well. I have a few strawberries. Some of them survived, some of them didn't. In total I had planted 10 strawberries, but now I only have about, say, 6 that are actually doing well. This one is also doing well. So it was like 2 beds of strawberries, 2 rows. But yeah, so is life. I planted a lot of spinach in here. The animals have moved the earth, so I'm not seeing much of it. I'm seeing that one over there, and so it's really spotty. I'm gonna have to start my seedlings again and plant again in order to have some sort of success in this year's harvest. Excuse the background noise that you hear. My lawn mower is hard at work. I should probably give it a name. If you have any suggestions for a name for the lawnmower, be my guests. Please comment in the comment box below, and let's pick a name together. The name that has the most votes is the name that will be given to the lawnmower. I have some lettuce growing over here. Again, not all the seeds germinated, so I'm really seeing a pattern of I need to start my seedlings in controlled cells before I transplant them. And even when I transplant them, I have to be sure that the plant is ready, because what I'm noticing is that if I bring them too early out, they either get eaten or they just don't survive. I have more spinach over here, and of course all the berries that are at the back and the hydrangeas. So I think this is some tatsoi. It's a Japanese plant. It's almost like spinach, but this one is a purple tatsoi. I have some broccoli that I moved to this side because I had planted just a bit too much. And one of my tasks each morning is to check if the berries are flowering. I see what is eating my plants. What is this? Do you see it? There's some sort of plant, well, there's some sort of animal that is really ravaging my red currant leaf. And more underneath here. Oh, these are just ants. But this one is really concerning. It's the biggest that I've seen so far. It might be a caterpillar, and if it is, I'm okay with it. It should just turn into a butterfly. I'll have to research what I'm seeing. In case you didn't know or you haven't noticed, I'm actually not Dutch, but I live in the Netherlands. I'm from South Africa. We have slightly different pests and also a much different climate. So I have to get used to growing my plants in here, in this climate. I notice now that I have some berries that are forming. So unfortunately, sorry, you have to concentrate on making roots this year. I'm gonna cut them all off. It pains me, but I have to do it. I think there's one more that I see right over here. Yeah, I've dedicated myself to checking all of these berries and making sure they are not producing flowers. And if they are, I just take them off because they are not ready yet to actually set fruit. They're still too small. I'm really hoping that they grow wildly. Okay, I'm gonna move along to the next bed. This is a flower bed, and I have started seeing some of the spears from the bulbs shooting out. This is a snapdragon, and these are different bulbs of these are different bulbs. I will remember what they were because I did not label them. One tip for me for next year and all the other years, label everything. And one thing I did do later on in the season, I just took a pack of seeds and I threw them in here. Those free seeds that you get when you buy a lot of seeds, it's a mix of bee supporting seeds. And so some of these plants I do not know and do not recognize, but most of them I do recognize. This over here is a Chinese aster. This is a peony. That is peony as well because at least I put the sticker on it. And I have a color lily that's supposed to pop out from here, and a lot of other alliums in here. The most exciting thing yet is that I spot carrots, and they look well spaced. Most of them look well spaced. I spot carrots. Do you see that? These are my purple carrots. These are a mix of carrots in this row over here. What are you doing, bud? Don't go there. Yeah, so a little bit about the lawnmower. It follows a loop, and over there the wires are basically going underground, and there's extra wires at the back that it thinks it has to follow, but it can't, because it always cuts the wires up. So I have hidden them underground. Over here I have my radishes. As promised, they will be ready within a month. These are beets. I have red beets over here, yellow beets in here, directly sown, and mixed beets over here, or maybe it was red beets. I have purple broccoli over here. The tomatoes are doing good. I've been keeping an eye and taking off the suckers, so they're looking really quite good. I don't think this one will survive, and perhaps I should take it out. I have planted some parsley and herbs right along here, lemongrass, a lot of different herbs right along here. I see my purple basil is coming out, and more of the plants are coming out, so I will really have to move the wood chips so that I can give them space to actually come out. Yeah. A tip for myself: the wood chips do tend to move, either because of the plants or because of other reasons, the wind or something like that. So it is better for me to actually plant seedlings and transplant them. The broccoli that you see that has grown quite beautifully over here was actually planted within a tray and then moved. The peppers are also doing quite well. They need to be watered. I have reduced the number of times that my drip irrigation actually waters, but maybe that might be ill-advised because we haven't been receiving enough rain and my crops might fail. I have peas that are looking beautifully. They were directly sown. Believe me, all of this was peas, and I'm now only seeing about 3 of them. So that's also quite concerning. These are also peas. This whole block was peas, and I'm only seeing 4 of them. Just concerning. The whole block over here was peas. And this, I'm only seeing 3 of them, and I'm not happy. But that's this one, and I open to go to the front. I have put in some alliums in here. Oh look, I'm already seeing one of my plants coming up. It is looking beautiful. I have some lilies in here, and I hope that they do come. Oh, I'm already seeing a spear come out. Do you see that one? I'm already seeing a spear come out. Yeah. I'm really hoping that nature is as forgiving as everybody says, because I planted out my plants so late in the season. Well, now we are in the middle of May, and we're gonna go away for holiday. So, I'm thinking maybe a bit of help from nature would be really appreciated. I did not plant this, but I'm gonna let it grow because I'm curious to see what it is. These are really tiny flowers that I planted, but I hope that they do come out good. I'm not seeing anything come out from here. and I'm hoping that they do. At a glance, this is how this part of the garden looks like. I will have to turn back the irrigation to be skipping only 1 day and not more than 2 days, because they are suffering. We get really hot sun during the day, and if they haven't had enough water, I do see some yellowing on some of the plants, and it's a bit concerning. In particular, right now I'm seeing yellowing on my artichoke. That's an artichoke right over there. This one as well. So I will probably have to come out and water them by hand. I'm not going to move to the rest of the garden. It's doing relatively good. The African daylilies are coming out. The bulbs that I have placed over here, oh, that's one, maybe starting to come out. Do you see another one over here? This is coming out from the bulbs that I had planted. This one as well. But yeah, it looks like the bulbs are coming along really good. I'm seeing a couple of them, you're not going to be able to see them from far, but I'm seeing a couple of the plants come out. The African daylilies are coming out beautifully. The grasses are growing much taller. I had planted some seeds in between the grasses. I don't think that the seeds are going to come out in time, including some sunflowers. And if I do get some sunflowers over here, it'll really look good, because they're going to pop out in between the grasses and really look beautiful. But I'm not seeing that it will come along. This as well had seeds in the middle. This tree is growing out really beautifully. Really beautifully. And once again, me being jealous of my neighbor's beautiful purple and pink and whites that are really echoing the sentiment of spring. That's it for now. Let's see how things change tomorrow. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.